Hello everyone and welcome back to the Don't Kale My Vibe gardening channel, where I've been posting a video once every week up until our last frost date, showing you guys everything that I've been doing in this late winter, early spring kind of situation that we're in, where I would like to be outside playing in the dirt, but all I can really do is prepare for the 2024 growing season by starting seeds inside and growing things inside underneath my grow lights and preparing in that way, as well as planting in my greenhouse. So here is your video update of everything that I've done for the third week of February. As you guys know, I love to use my AeroGarden, but the problem that I'm currently having is overcrowding. I have a lot of lettuce growing in here, and the lettuce grows out wide. Look at that romaine towards the left there. They overgrow the other seedlings that I have in there and block the light. So today I'm going to be using these tri-planters from Dollar Tree and actually transplanting them into these pots, and then hopefully taking them outside to free up some space here in the AeroGarden for the smaller plants as well as new plants I'd like to start. So all I do to transplant is actually just remove the plant that I would like to remove, try to be really gentle with the roots. As you can see, they are quite long in there, and sometimes they can get a little tangled with the roots for the plants that are next to them. So as you can see, these roots kind of flop out a little bit. Those are not these roots tearing. Those are actually the cilantro's roots from next door. So I'm just placing those in a bowl before I take them outside to the tri-planters. A little hack that I've found is putting a solo cup or some kind of cup in the center of the tri-planters, so that way you don't waste dirt on the center portion, because really I only need the sides. I make it kind of a ramp shape so that way the plant sticks up the top and then the roots grow downward. So as you can see, I'm just spreading out the roots and then I fill in the rest with soil. As you can see, I actually buried the entire growing sponge from the AeroGarden, and I talk a little bit more about that later, about how I use a skewer to hold those plugs into my AeroGarden instead of using the plastic trays that it comes with, because I usually transplant and bury the sponges. And I personally haven't had any issues doing that. I have several plants that I've transplanted that still have the sponges attached, and I haven't had root rot or anything like that. So here are the 3 plants that I transplanted today. Here I added them a little bit of water, and then I took them outside to harden off because they have been growing inside and haven't had any exposure to real sunlight yet. So that's an important part of transplanting plants outside. So now we have a nice clean AeroGarden to start over with. So essentially I'm just going to clean these off, and then I will show you how I start new plants in the AeroGarden. These are little Amazon plugs. I've talked about them before. This is just a lot cheaper than buying the pre-filled seed plugs from AeroGarden. So I'll probably try and link these down below, but I just use a skewer to hold those into place, because when you have the plastic AeroGarden plug holders, the roots actually grow around those plug holders, and it makes it really hard for them to be removed and buried, because I obviously don't want to plant my plants in the ground surrounded by plastic. So as you'll see later, I actually end up cutting one off from a plant that I didn't do this for. But here is what my setup looks like, and here's what I'm planting today. I'm doing a mixture of basils, some chamomile, and this is how I label them. I like the smaller AeroGarden because the top of it is actually white and easily seen with a dry erase marker. I have issues with my other one because it has a black surface. But here's everything that I'm planting, and that's how that went. Here's my romaine that I really need to remove today in the bigger AeroGarden. It is massive, and it got turned into a salad. I didn't end up transplanting that, but I am transplanting these 3 other lettuces into the same tri-planters. And here is the example of the plastic I had to cut off to free those roots. And I just did the same process you guys saw me do earlier. When those plants are done with their hour of sunshine, they come right back into the house and underneath the grow lights. And now it is time to start with the new seeds that are going into my extra large AeroGarden. And I'm going to be doing a lot of seeds that actually are going to go out into my garden, such as tomatoes, ground cherries, dill, jalapenos, and other big plants that are going to take a long time. Several varieties of tomatoes that I've never grown before. I'm really excited to see how they turn out, as well as lemon balm, which is another scented herb that's going to keep pests away from my other plants. I'll be planting these seeds using the exact same method that I have been using to grow lettuce, which is the skewers with a grow sponge. And so as you can see, I'm just placing those in here. I'm being sure to press them up against these little water spout things. The plastic holders actually hold them a little bit lower than the raised skewer method. And so I just make sure that they're pressed up against that water spigot so that they're fully saturated as they grow. I'll be using these plastic tags and another dry erase marker for this method because, again, this is a black surface, so the dry erase markers don't show up as well on it, but I still want to label these sprouts. So here's everything that I'm growing, and all I do is add 2 seeds per each plug, and then I put the little greenhouse caps on top to trap in moisture. We are at the end of the video, but since it was actually filmed 2 weeks ago, I can actually go ahead and show you guys the progress of the things that I have sprouting that we planted together in this video. So as you can see, everything is thriving. All of the tomatoes have come up. The only things that have not come up are the ground cherries, jalapenos, and a couple nasturtiums that I threw in here, but I believe the seeds are too big. But since we're at the end of the video, I do have a special announcement. We've added chickens to our family urban garden homestead situation. So in the next video, I'll be introducing you guys to the ladies. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.